Good morning, good afternoon, hello, hello. It's Georgiana. I'm so excited to be here with you. Today's topic is 3 tips to increase your performance and effectiveness. As you may know, I am a high performance coach, transformational architect, all the things, but performance and human potential has been probably one of the number one things that I've studied in the last 20 years. So I'm super passionate about getting more done, being more effective, and being happier. So today's all about that. One of the things that I discovered many years ago, one of my first businesses was being an interior designer. I had an interior design business, and there were a lot of moving parts. I wasn't big enough to have people helping me, so I was the ordering department, I was the designer, I was the finder of all beautiful things, and it's a lot. Any interior designer will tell you. But I had to find ways to really maximize my time, to really increase my effectiveness. So today's all about that, okay? So this is good for really anyone, and we're going to focus on 3 simple but super powerful tips that you can implement really immediately to increase your performance and create results that are aligned with your vision and really aligned with who you are as a human being. So why does it matter? Because here's the thing. High performers, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. It's about aligning your actions with your values and what really matters to you. So by focusing on the highest kind of leverage activities, you achieve more in less time and with less effort. And we're going to get into that. But the first thing that we want to talk about is the top 3 priorities method. So I don't think these are probably not new to you, okay? So maybe just a reminder. And if they're new to you, this is great because you're going to be able to try some new things and see how it can impact your day-to-day experience of work and life, because these can be used everywhere. So the 3 top priorities method is each day you want to just identify and focus on the 3 most important tasks that will move you closer to your goals. Now, I want to take just a kind of a sidestep here, because one of the things that I have found so important, and it really goes against our regular thinking, is, we hear about the 3 things every day, but also throughout the year, like, what are you going to focus on this year? So for me, I have 3 different things that I'm focusing on: my business, my health, and oh my gosh, what was the other thing? Oh, people skills. Funny how I forgot that. So whenever I'm looking at adding something in or doing something more, all I have to do is go back and look, is what I'm looking at aligned or going to move forward one of those 3 things: my people skills, my business, or my health and fitness? And if they're not, it helps me make a decision. So this is kind of very similar to the top 3 priorities in a day, is identify what you want to focus on that is going to move the needle in, say, your 3 goals or your 3 areas that you're focusing on for the year. And then really work at how are you going to get those done? It's kind of like, the saying, right? You put the big rocks in before first. So these are those 3 top priorities. Now, I'm going to say something here that kind of contradicts that, and that is sometimes when we get super busy with appointments and things, just having one thing that must get done is all that you can manage. So I don't want you to stress out and say, oh, Georgiana said the top 3 things. Sometimes it's just one, okay? But looking at what's the one thing that needs to get done, or what are the top 3 priorities, and don't stress out about it. This is meant to empower you. And by the way, if you only do one thing and you get the one thing done and you have time, you can take the same action and recreate it. So every morning, just look at if you have an accountability buddy, or I have a group of women that we connect with once a week. And just in our WhatsApp group, we put what our one thing that we're going to get done, or our 3 things that we're going to get done that day. And it's really great to have that kind of accountability. So identify your top 1 to 3 priorities for the day or the week and commit to focusing on them first. Get them in your calendar, because what's scheduled gets done, right? So really being able to focus those priorities has increased my productivity and results, because, you know, especially as a business owner, we have things coming at us. And I don't know about you, I am like so ADD, right? I literally have a squirrel that messes with me out the window. And so I can call squirrel all the time, actually, but also just by, oh, look, shiny object. Oh, I should go check my email. Oh, I should go check my Facebook messages. Oh, I should go do this. So having those 1 to 3 things allows me to move the needle and stay focused on what it is that really matters. All right. Tip number 2, master your energy, not just your time. So, this is a big one. So high performers understand that managing their energy, not just their time, is really key to sustaining performance. So it's not just burnout, but it's also effectiveness when your energy and your mindset is most powerful. So, you know, you've probably heard, do the hard things first, right? If there are things that I'm going to kind of take that back. For me, I got to do the hard things first, but I also have to get them in my calendar in a time of day where I have the most attention. So I have narrowed down for myself that first thing in the morning, like when I sit down, I'm going to kind of bobble around, and then I get focused. And then come lunchtime, I get hungry and I want to go do lunch and, you know, whatever. And there's, you know, I only take about a half an hour to sit down and eat, but that time before and after is kind of garbly a little bit. So I know my next super highly focused time is about 2 p.m. So knowing when you have those peak energy and focus times to do those most important tasks is really great. So you probably already know what those times are, but you could just take the next week and notice for yourself, like, is there time where it would really serve you to get out of your office and take a walk or meditate, or, you know, something to recharge, so that when you do come back, you're highly focused, getting more done. So start to notice, because if you notice when you push through, like, oh, I don't feel like this, or your mind is wandering and you try and get work done, it's not going so well. So part of being a high performance and having these high performance habits is that when you are doing what you're doing, you're getting them done faster, because you've managed your mind and your energy. Okay, so tip number 3 is cultivating a growth mindset. So high performers, we're always evolving and learning. We've got a growth mindset that really allows us to embrace challenges, learn from those setbacks, and really keep pushing forward. So, this is why I'm here, right? This is why you're here, right? So really adopting a fail forward mentality really allows every setback or failure to be an opportunity. Now, one thing I just want to say about failure here, because man, we human beings are can be a little bit nutty about failure. So one of the things that I learned years ago, I worked for a transformational company, and when they talked about failure, and this is all how things exist in language, is we talk like I failed, like, oh, I failed to get X done, or I failed to show up on time, or I failed to get that email sent out on time, or I failed to make the sales that I said I was going to do. So we talk about failure like it's an I thing, but really what failure is there was just a failure to perform, that there was a failure to take the actions, there was a failure in the effectiveness. There is no I failed. So taking that away, that failure is just you failed to take the actions consistent with what you wanted, or you took effective actions and you didn't shift or adjust, or you did the best that you could and you failed to take the appropriate actions to get the result. So with that kind of mindset around failure, it allows, like, okay, well, what actions could I have taken? What do I need to get better at? So there's no over here where you're a failure, that there's something wrong with you or you're not good at something, etc. So being able to transform I failed to to adjust from I'm a failure to I failed at blah, 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 taking this action, or I failed at whatever. So there's no failure over here. It's just a failure in the performance. So that can be a game changer for a lot of people. So enjoy that one and really take that growth mindset of failing forward, learning at everything, having the opportunity for growth, and really reflecting on what you've done well as much as what you haven't done well. Because when you look at what you're going to focus on, you want to focus on doing more of what you're good at, and you want to focus less on what you haven't done well, and then you can start to look at and create a growth plan for where you need to grow. So tip number one is prioritize your most important tasks. Number 2 is master your energy, not just your time. And number 3 is cultivate a growth mindset. Transform your relationship to failure from I'm a failure to I failed too. So this is really 3 game-changing tips that you can do to increase not only your performance in work, but also your effectiveness. So I love having the opportunity to share all this with you. And please, if you like this or you want to hear about something else or you have questions, please comment below. I would love to answer any questions or talk about anything that you have questions about. All right, thank you so much for being part of the community, and I will see you around on the playground. Thanks again.